But, Mark, let's move on into the trade that actually happened this weekend, or I should say this week, as it happened on Monday. And that was the Dallas Cowboys send a first-round pick, like I said earlier in the podcast, what would be the 8th overall pick right now. That could change based on wins and losses, and Cowboy fans are hoping they win more games, so that pick gets lower and lower for the Raiders. And the Raiders send the Cowboys Amari Cooper. Before we open this Pandora's box, which is the Dallas Cowboys, let's start with, to me, the easier side. What does this mean for the Raiders, and what are you thinking about John Gruden after another trade where he gets another first-round pick?
So what this really means with John Gruden is last Christmas, somebody bought him a copy of Madden, and he started playing it, and he's like, this is a really good idea. I can just trade all these players for picks, and then I can go have a dynasty for years to come. And that's honestly what he's doing. John Gruden feels like he's got some damn job security because they basically sold him part of the team. They gave him 10 years. They gave him a ton of money, and they said, whatever you want, John, whatever you want, make it happen. He can trade whoever he wants. He can cut players if he wants, sign whoever old players he wants. He can do anything he wants. And John Gruden is going to show us if he truly is the draft mastermind that he has been sold to us as for years by ESPN. ESPN sold us that this man knows the draft better than almost anybody.
And this guy scouts better than anybody.
Other than maybe Kuiper and McShay, this guy is
or
the guy.
Jaws. I mean, Jaws lives in the tape room, man.
That's true. But, they tried to sell it to us, and we got to see if it's real or not, if we can buy it. Because he's going to have a lot of draft capital to work with. Maybe, I jokingly said, maybe he just trades up for number 1 overall, because there's a guy that Gruden grinder out there, he's really got to get him. Or he can just use all his picks.
Well, I mean, I actually like this from John Gruden and the Raiders. And
if you're going to completely buy into the rebuild, then yeah.
And the reason why I like it is for when you watch ESPN, and maybe ESPN is saying this because he used to work there, and they're telling all their analysts to say good things about him. But the thing that I like about this is if John Gruden's greatest strength is his drafting, first off, why not play into that? Also, John Gruden has been sitting there in the broadcast booth watching teams. How do you build a team? It's not by, I want to take this free agent and this one and put them all together. No, it's by drafting players, developing players. Like, look at, I'll just even use the top quarterbacks that are in the league. Tom Brady, drafted by the Patriots. Aaron Rodgers, drafted by the Packers. Andrew Luck, drafted by his team. The only one that I can think of that's like top of the top right now that wasn't drafted by his team, Drew Brees. That's it. Like most of all the other ones, drafted by the team that they are currently on, minus like a Kirk Cousins situation because he should have left a long time ago.
We're talking about greatest quarterbacks in the league.
Top of the top. Most of them, and unless it's like a weird Peyton Manning situation where Irsay wanted the next Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck, and there was no way you were going to pass up Andrew Luck. That's why Peyton Manning played for the Broncos after the Colts, or like Brett Favre, why he left the Packers was because they had Aaron Rodgers sitting behind him. So, I mean, John Gruden has seen this. Why not put it into action where the Khalil Mack thing irritated me only because the second after he traded him, they played a game. It's like, hey, we would have won this game if we had a pass rush.
Yeah.
I looked like he did not just say that.
Well, plus the trade.
He did not just say that.
I mean, you got a first straight up for Amari Cooper. Khalil Mack is on a whole different level than Amari Cooper.
Well, and that's why he got more picks.
You should have, but they also gave stuff away for it. Did when you see the Khalil Mack and the Amari Cooper trade, I sit there and go, should have gotten like 4 first-round picks out of the Chicago Bears for that. That's a little much, but you guys get what I mean. But hey, the Khalil Mack thing, it's okay. It works out because you have completely bought into the rebuild. If you are willing to buy in, then I don't care. You can trade the entire team if you want. It does not matter because you have said, what are the words, Ricky? Trust the process. You have said that we're going to rebuild. And that's what they need. Now, the thing is, and maybe I'm jumping a segment here, but they've got a guy like Derek Carr out there, and John Gruden is this, quarterback whisperer out there. And maybe the Oakland Raiders are going to make even more deals. We'll talk about that in the next segment about other trades that need to happen. But
they could. And the thing that, with Amari Cooper when it comes to, and maybe this bridges me over into the Cowboys a little bit, but the reason why Amari Cooper was not going to have success this year with the Oakland Raiders is, and I said this on What's Your Fantasy this week too, because we talked about how this deal affects fantasy owners. Check it out, by the way, shameless plug. If you look at it, the last time Amari Cooper had a 1,000-yard season was his second year in the league, 2016. His
first 2 years were great.
They were amazing. Yeah. Why were they so great? Because they had a guy in Latavius Murray who was an 1,000-yard rusher actually carrying the ball. Once Marshawn Lynch came over and it's been a shell of himself, now he's on the IR, it's basically been, we don't have to worry about their run game. Let's just double-team Cooper.
Yeah, and really, Derek Carr's not taking the shots like he used to take. He's not really doing too much. Amari Cooper's dropping the ball too much. It's just change of scenery. Need to change the scenery.
And that change of scenery moving over into Dallas, there was an article yesterday where they said the Cowboys are abandoning the wide receiver by committee and hope that Cooper could be their true number one. I told Brandon, I said, I hope. I hope that they are right and believe that, because Amari Cooper can be a 1,000-yard receiver in Dallas, mainly because for me, one reason alone.
Throwing the ball to?
Well, not that. Well, Cole Beasley. Like I said to Brandon, Amari Cooper will come in. We'll see Tennessee. All right, Amari Cooper, go on a fly. I see him. Dump off to Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley's running across the field. I got him. And they'll just do that still. Let's see if they actually use him as the number one. But the reason why I like this, what did I mention? When Cooper was a 1,000-yard wide receiver, he had a run game. And now you get paired up with Zeke. You get Ezekiel Elliott as your run game where people got to trust him. Now you got a true number one receiver where it's like, all right, load the box against Zeke. You're going to leave my main man, Amari Cooper, wide open. And I'm hoping that Cooper thrives in Dallas, although I secretly hate Dallas and would like for them to lose games. But I want Amari Cooper to be successful, and he can in Dallas.
Yeah, I got nothing against Amari Cooper. Dak Prescott needs a more reliable weapon out there. Zeke needs help on having a threatening passing attack. Otherwise, people are just going to stack the box like they do. And it doesn't matter because Zeke is doing great anyways. They need help. They lost a quality wide receiver who used to be one of the top in NFL.
Des Bryant.
They lost a great tight end this year to retirement. They are not where they thought they would be, unfortunately. And I don't understand what I don't know what the plan was with with Des Bryant. That still doesn't make sense to me.
With the whole releasing him and cutting him, basically.
Yeah, I still don't know what the idea was with that and what they were hoping for, because they had to have known they didn't have any wide receivers. Cole Beasley, I'm putting a little bit of dirt on him, but he's fine. But there's not a number one wide receiver out there.
Well, no, there's not. And for me, that's the one fear that I have is, like I said to Brandon on What's Your Fantasy, is I fear that with Dak, this will answer the question, can Dak throw it down the field, or is it a system thing and they just haven't wanted him to chuck it down the field, where it's all these check downs and crossing routes.
He had
and
some good
Cole
throws
Beasley
this weekend.
There's a few, but it's like most of the time throughout his career in Dallas, it's been, let's go crossovers to Beasley, let him get it with his legs instead of chucking it deep to a receiver on a fly route. And I wonder if when you get in fight or flight mode in a game, because Amari Cooper will be so new to this team, the good thing is they got a bye week. So Amari Cooper can hopefully learn some of the playbook and be useful for them when they play Tennessee in 2 weeks' time. But the thing I worry about, we're in a game, that blitz is coming, you're not thinking through everything, and you just go into reactionary mode. And if these first couple of games, Dak's reflexes are not going to be, oh, Amari Cooper's over there. It's going to be Cole Beasley's over here across the middle of the field.
Yeah, and that can stall drives. That could get you not what you need. Whatever. It's kind of rough in that case. But Amari Cooper, without a doubt, there's no reason why he shouldn't improve the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys should be a better team with him. And they were right in there. They could be the division leaders right now, but they were just stopped short by Washington, but they could have been there.
Well, let me ask you this. With Amari Cooper, does it change anything coming forward? They got the bye this week, and then coming out of the bye, their next 4 games, home against Tennessee, that's going to be a Monday night game, then Sunday night in Philly, then in Atlanta, and then a Thursday night Thanksgiving game. That's going to be the early afternoon game home against the Redskins. How do you think they do in their next 4?
It's tough. I mean, out of the next 4, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're really going to win any of them. They'll probably beat the Titans. I should say they'll probably beat the Titans because the Titans are going to play them tough. But
1-3, 2-2.
Yeah, they can beat the Titans. The rest of these teams, I don't know. The home game against the Redskins, sure. I mean, they went to Washington and played them tough. So there is that to it, but they're not going to go to Philadelphia or Atlanta and beat those 2 teams. I just can't see it happening. The hard thing for the Dallas Cowboys and for the rest of this division right now is things are looking good in Philadelphia again. They're starting to bounce back. They're starting to kind of get their stride a little bit, so they will make some headway as they move. New York's already out of it. It doesn't matter. But Washington's been good. Washington will be good enough to compete for a wild card spot at the least. So it's really just going to be Dallas needing to win all the games that they should win and steal some of these games that they probably shouldn't win. Like they need to split with Philadelphia. They have to make that happen. They're going to really need to play the Saints tough. They really kind of need to beat the Saints, especially just in case the Saints are a team that's also competing for the wild card. It's going to be tougher to beat Atlanta, but if they can do it, it's really going to help their case.
And what's funny is I know Dallas Cowboy fans are going to say this, but since the calendar turned to the year 2010, every single game in this decade that has been played at Lincoln Financial Field, the Eagles have only won 2 games. Cowboys won in 2010. They lost in 2011. Won in 2012 because they swept the Eagles that year. Won the road game in 2013, 2014. 2015 won the road game. 2016 lost it. And then last year won on the road. So usually it's the road teams win in this rivalry in the 2010s, but basically what I'm saying is they're going to, like you even said, they're probably going to split with the Eagles.
They need to split with the Eagles.
In their next few. And for me, the way I look at it is their next 4, I say 1-3, 2-2, because the Falcons are an easy win for me. I know that there's no easy wins. Ask Bill O'Brien.
The Falcons are an easy win.
I think they beat the Falcons. I'll put it that way. They win against the Falcons. They lose against the Eagles. And the 2-2, the 2-3 is dependent on you're going to lose to me one of those games between the Titans and the Redskins. Do you lose just one of them or do you lose both of them? There's a chance they go 3-1, but I don't see that. I see more of a 2-2, really. You either lose to the Titans or the Redskins. For Cowboy fans, I think if you had to pick, you would pick losing to the Titans because you want to get a divisional game. But I mean, looking at the rest of their season, it's not going to be the easiest road because the Titans are a team that's in the playoff hunt. The Eagles, you get them twice. They're a playoff hunt team. Washington is leading your division. Saints are the second best team in the NFC right now. And then your last 3 games are kind of... So you have 5 rough ones from 9 to 14, and then your last 3 are very winnable with the Colts, Tampa Bay, and then the Giants. But, hell, the Giants may even play you close. They played you close week 2.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's an any given Sunday type of thing. That Giants game is late in the season, so...
And the Giants might just be saying, hey, let's screw these Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly. You never know what's going to happen, especially because who knows? Maybe the Giants team at the end of this year looks a little bit different. You never really know. But yeah, I think that Amari Cooper, without a doubt, makes this team better. Jason Garrett says that this is an all-in kind of move, and I see what he's saying, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't really know if I buy it. I don't know if I buy that the Dallas Cowboys are in an all-in type of situation.
It's all in for him because I'm going to ask you this question.
The answer is no. He's not on the hot seat. He's never on the hot seat.
No. I'm saying, does Amari Cooper cool his seat? Because in the media, not to Jerry, in the media, he's on the hot seat. To fans, he's on the hot seat. Does Amari cool the seat?
It couldn't possibly cool the seat. If anything, it would do the opposite. It would make it hotter and say, you got a wide receiver now.
No. I'm saying with the outcome the rest of the year with Amari, do you think they win enough games with Amari for that seat to cool off and fans are not sitting outside of AT&T Stadium with the pitchfork?
Probably not, because Jason Garrett should have gotten fired years ago.
I mean, yeah. I mean, as the who is that? I can't remember his name that they have on the DP show. One of their callers that they have on calls him the Ginger. And not very happy. He's a Cowboy fan. Not really happy with Jason Garrett and what he's been doing in his offense for the Cowboys. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you think down below in the comment section. What does this trade mean for the Raiders? What does it mean for the Cowboys? With the Cowboys, how are they going to look under Cooper? How many games are they going to win? Are they going to be a playoff team with Amari Cooper? What are you thinking down below in that comment section?